All right, boys, we're here for the aftermath of UFC 313. What a banger card. I'd give this like a 8 out of 10. The main event, we'll get to the main event. We're going to get to everything. We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to start at the bottom with Ozzy Diaz versus Jordan Santos. It took a long time for these boys to get like used to each other in the first round. Santos turned it up with like the last minute in the round. It was kind of a back and forth war all the way until round 3. The fight had a crazy ass pace, as you could see. Santos threw 348 strikes. He had takedown. Diaz had 262. This was, I mean, a lot of people were saying this was a robbery. Diaz won by decision. We picked Diaz. I don't think this was that much of a robbery. Yeah, Santos threw a lot more, but he wasn't really connecting. So like he pushed that pace definitely, but I could see how a lot of people would have gave it to Santos, but I scored that as Diaz. So we're 1 for 1. Okay, we're on to the next one, boys. Marlon Santos versus Francis Marshall. So going into this, I knew. Whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute. We're moving on a little bit too fast. There were a lot of fights that were canceled. There was 2 fights that were canceled due to illness, right? The Chris Gutierrez fight versus John Castaneda was off due to illness. So I was like, okay, that's a little weird, right? Okay, due to illness, normally it's like food poisoning. Then I see this. Curtis Blades versus the steroid fraud is also out due to illness. Blades is out due to illness. I see that and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This might be. Oh, we'll get to it. Okay, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. But 2 fighters on the same card out with illness. A little odd, if you ask me. Some conspiracy theories might be aloof. If you know some conspiracy, we'll get to them. We'll get to them. This was an absolute banger. Santos got dropped in this first round by Francis Marshall. Both of these boys looked great. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Francis Marshall might have the lower ranking jiu-jitsu belt. I think he has a brown. No, he has a purple belt, and Santos has a brown belt. But Francis Marshall's flow state, boy, his flow state. He was moving from. I don't even remember the positions. Honestly, this card was insane, but his flow state was crazy. I want to see both of these boys get a step up in competition. Even though Francis Marshall lost, it was a very close fight. His jiu-jitsu was on point. Just Santos, man, he has the heart of a lion. He got sat down in that first round, and I thought it was over. The whole fight was a little scary. Santos's stance, he's kind of like Justin Gaethje, where he's like a little wobbly. You know what I mean when he's throwing punches. So it's kind of there's a lot of moments in the fight where I thought he was wobbled, but he wasn't. He was fine. It was just the way he was stanced up. But and a lot of people thought that this was a robbery. I saw people on Twitter saying that this was a robbery only because of Francis Marshall's takedowns. I, I didn't think so. I really didn't think so. I mean, they both of them looked good. I would have gave either one of them the win, but I'm happy we gave Mario and Santos the win. So we're 2-for-2 on the prelims, and the prelims are harder to pick, boys. So could see I know ball. You know what I'm saying? Super pause. But even Joe Rogan and DC and John Anik called this fight a trash decision. A trash decision. When you see this fight that's way closer, and yeah, they said it was questionable, but they didn't like flat out say this was trash. They said that this fight, the Francis Marshall fight and the Mario Santos fight, was a trash ass decision. I really don't think so. Bro had way more total strikes. The only thing you guys are looking at is the takedowns. Yeah, Francis Marshall's flow state was really nice, but I don't think he won that fight. I really don't. But I could see I could see it. I could see it. Next, we're going to Carlos Leal, welterweight. This dude is scary. You need to give him a ranked opponent next. Seriously. Seriously. Round 1 KO. It took a little bit, but he was throwing hammers. He was throwing hammers. They need to call this boy Stone Hands. Like, Alex has the Stone Hand tattoo. Leal has Stone Hands. He was throwing those fucking hands. This was a complete mismatch. The odds makers had it right. I would say give this boy a ranked opponent next. Welterweight. Maybe give him Luque. I've been trying to give Luque to somebody. Give him Luque. Give him somebody. That was a really good fight. That was a great performance. Great performance. Moving up, we got Bruno Ferreira versus Armand Petrosian. You guys, a lot of people didn't want to listen to me when I told them about Armand Petrosian. He's a can. He's a can. Nobody would fight good after seeing themselves knocked out on YouTube, TikTok all fucking year, and it's up for a knockout of the year, and everybody's clowning you. Then the dude that just knocked you out and made you the laughing stock of social media got his ass whooped by Michael Venom Page and made him look like he didn't even know what he was doing. Yeah, Armand Petrosian outstruck my boy Bruno Ferreira here, but Bruno Ferreira just overall looked a lot better. The strikes that he was hitting, Armand Petrosian was biting on all the feints that Bruno Ferreira was throwing. Bruno Ferreira hits him in a crazy ass armbar that I did not see coming. Nobody saw coming. Excuse me. I thought that Bruno Ferreira was going to knock Armand Petrosian out just like Shara did, but hey, you know what it is. I don't think he needs a ranked opponent. Yeah, I want to see him fight somebody else. Give him another unranked opponent, and then throw him into the ranked fest. I don't really know all the unranked people in middleweight, to be honest with you. Moving up, boys, we got Joshua Van versus Ray Tusara. Boys, Ray Tusara. Do you see how close this line was? If you saw this fight, I told you guys Joshua Van. First of all, just so you guys know, we smacked all of these bets so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this Joshua Van one. We're 5 in a row. 5 in a row. Okay? Next time, tap into my picks, okay? Joshua Van completely dominated. I don't know what Ray Tusara's game plan was going into this fight. Bro decided that he was going to shoot, like, how many takedowns did he shoot? Does it say? Bro shot 21 takedowns. 21 takedowns. And he had 47 strikes. Bro threw about 2 strikes and then a shot. It was honestly ridiculous. The crowd was booing. This guy needs to be fucking cut. And he's a super zest monster. Nothing wrong with that. But, like, bro, why are you in the UFC? I promise you they're going to cut this guy. I'm making this right after Alex lost. Sorry to spoil it, but obviously if you clicked on this video that Alex lost. We're going to get to it, I promise. But I didn't watch the press conference yet, but I hope that Dana White is up there talking shit about Ray Tusara. Joshua Van did not need to go through that. He really did not. Joshua Van looked great. This dude had 21 takedown attempts, and they were deep takedown attempts. Joshua Van's defense was on point, bro. He stuffed. I can't do the math of 4 minus 21, if I'm being honest with you, but probably about like 17. You know what I mean? That's about 17. He stuffed 17 takedown attempts, and he threw 169 strikes. He fucked Ray Tusara up. Ray Tusara was looking weak. He was looking small. Joshua Van has some serious power. Give Joshua Van a ranked opponent, please. He's a flyweight. Where's flyweight? Where is flyweight? He's an Ilia Tuporia. Hey, listen. Give him Dan Ige. Oh, no, Dan Ige's fighting Sean Woodson. Give him Calvin Kattar, maybe? Yeah, Calvin Kattar has no fights coming up. Give him Calvin Kattar. That would be a great one. Or Giga. Give him Giga. That would be a banging fight. There's a bunch of good fights for him. Just please don't give him Aljamain Sterling. I don't want to see him fight another wrestler. Please, I really don't. That was bullshit. I was getting so excited. I thought that this was gonna be a super highly technical striking match. Ray's a fraud. Ray's a fraud. He needs to be cut from the UFC. Moving up. Okay. Let me take a drink of this before we get to this. Listen, I'm a man that will admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about Mr. Ruffy. I'm not wrong about Gene Silva and Carlos Prates. No, I am not. We will see next month. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit deeper dive, but I could say I was wrong about Ruffy. I was in complete shock when he hit that spinning fucking wheel kick. I thought he murdered Bobby Green. The way Bobby Green fell and the close up shot, the close up replay that they played um after he knocked him out, where they show Bobby's like the front of like the basically this camera angle, and they show Bobby's face and all the blood that came out of his nose and his mouth. Bro, Ruffy is a scary dude. That's a scary dude. He's that lightweight. He obviously he's ranked now. He definitely took Bobby Green out the rankings. Um, where's lightweight? Who are we giving? He's in the he's in the Islam, aka Ilya Tuporia region, you know. So I would probably say give bro. He called wait a minute. He called out after he murders Bobby Green, the OG, the dude with 50 fights, right? He calls out Benil Dariush. These fighting nerd guys, these fighting nerd guys just call out the most old, except for Bryce Mitchell, okay? They're calling out the old heads. They're calling out the old heads. They're trying their best to just like jump their way through the rankings. I'm not mad at them. You know, but Neil's ranked 9. If he shouldn't be ranked 9. Like, I 100% agree. His fight should not have been canceled with Money Moicano, and Money Moicano should not have fought Islam. Bro, this sport is insane. It's a complete domino effect. But I respect him calling out Benil Dariush. But bro, after you murder Bobby Green, right, who's had over 50 fights in the UFC, they shouldn't have even matched you up with bro anyway. I get it. I picked Bobby Green, but don't call out Benil Dariush. Call out Moicano. I want to see you fight Moicano. That's something I want to see. I want to see bro fight Moicano, or maybe let him fight. Nah, give him Moicano. Fiziev is gonna take a little bit for Fiziev to come back from that can of ass whooping that Justin decided to open on him. You know what I mean? But and and listen, Bobby Green. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Bobby Green. Listen, I picked you to win, bro. I think it's time to go to the GFL. Let's see you squabble Tony Ferguson. Let's see you squabble the other old heads. I think it's time for you to leave the UFC. I'm not telling you to stop fighting forever, but maybe you don't need to fight in the league where it's full of killers. You know what I'm saying? Where people are hitting spinning wheel kicks and shit like that. That's all I'm gonna say. Give Marcio Ruffy somebody who's not Benil Dariush. That's such an easy fight for him. Like, I mean, I'm not mad at him calling him out. I would have called him out too if I'm in his position. If we're being totally honest, but a fight I would like to see Ruffy do is Moicano, man. I want to see Ruffy face Moicano. On to the next one. We're skipping the women's fights, boys. Why would we not? Why would we not? You know what I mean? Okay, okay. This is bad. Listen. I saw the Marcio Ruffy, Bobby Green spinning wheel kick. And I was in complete shock. I was like, holy, holy. At that point, I was like, this is an amazing card. What a great card. This killed my parlay. All of the picks were good until this Bobby Green. I was like, oh my goodness. Then I go out and I smoke. I am not watching women's MMA. Sorry, ladies. Then we go to Ignacio Bahamondes to Jalen Turner. Getting into this fight. I don't like Ignacio Bahamondes for whatever reason. He has a it's crazy for me to say this, but he has like a punchable face. You know what I'm saying? He has a punchable face. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? His attitude, his everything. Like, I just want to give him a knuckle sandwich. So I don't fucking like him. Jalen Turner, I was hyped. He was seeming, I didn't want to say it because I picked him, but he was definitely seeming a little like spaced out in his interviews, in his solo interviews, and in the press conferences. But I still wanted to bet on bro. He's a vet. He had that great fight with Dan Hooker. But I think just mentally he's kind of broken. Jalen Turner was on top of Ignacio Bahamondes. He had control for basically the whole fight. The whole fight was on the ground, and Jalen Turner was on top. And Bahamondes, I believe he hits him with a triangle and almost puts him to bed. And as soon as this happens, right, as soon as this happens, Jalen Turner puts down the gloves. His corner He as soon as he got submitted and he tapped out, he went to his corner and said, "I'm fucking done." And his corner was like, "Yo, chill out, chill out." But he laid his gloves down. I mean, we've seen this happen before. He's probably gonna say, "Listen, I didn't mean to do that. It was in the heat of the moment." You do things in the heat of the moment that you're not proud of, and I can totally get that. But you don't gotta retire, big bro. I understand it's upsetting. I think he's on a 3-fight losing streak now. No, right? No, 2-fight losing streak. But you just lost to Moicano, the guy who fought for the title. I don't think he should have retired. I don't think he's gonna retire. I think he's gonna come back. But Ignacio Bahamondes, even though I'm a hater, I'm a man who can say again, great win. He looks solid. He's in lightweight. Um, there's so many killers, man, coming up at 155. It's kind of ridiculous. So many killers coming up at 155 and 145. I mean, they're always the premier divisions. But if I'm being honest with you, he's gonna take Jalen Turner's number 13 spot, and maybe give him Dan Hooker. That's a fight I would love to see. Bahamondes versus Dan Hooker. That would be great. Dan Hooker, he's light on the feet, he's tall, just like Ignacio Bahamondes. He has a long reach. I think that would be a banger fight. That would be a main event of a fight night, definitely a great co-main on a number card. Dan Hooker's probably going to be good to go in a month or two, and Ignacio's definitely going to have a quick turnaround time. He won in one round in 2 minutes. I don't even think he absorbed. I don't even think Jalen Turner threw a punch. He threw 11 punches. My boy is fine. You know what I'm saying? My boy is completely fine. He had 7 significant strikes. But Jalen Turner, listen, man, don't put the gloves down. Maybe take a step away for a little bit. Maybe do like the jiu-jitsu competitions or the grappling tournaments they do on the Fight Pass for a little bit, just so you can get back into like the competition mind state. But he definitely looked really spaced out this fight week. On to the next card. On to the next fight. Rafael Fiziev versus Justin Gaethje. Listen, boys, I was telling you all week. I don't understand why you guys are playing with Justin, bro. Keep putting him as the underdog against somebody he's fought in already, somebody he's beat already, somebody he's made bleed, somebody he's won against. And Rafael Fiziev is taking this on short notice. He did not have a fight camp coming up into this. His endurance was going to be a problem. It's going to be dog shit. Even though Vegas isn't really at like a crazy altitude, you're fighting for 15 minutes and you're fighting at a high pace. Justin Gaethje threw 163 strikes. He sat Rafael Fiziev down. He sat Rafael Fiziev down. In the first 50 seconds, it was definitely scary though, because Rafael Fiziev had Justin Gaethje in like an inverted triangle. He was basically sitting on his head with his legs wrapped around Justin Gaethje's throat. It was scary. It was scary. At that point, I was like, "Uh-oh, I guess I made a mistake. I don't know." And then Justin got up and did his fucking thing. Justin, Justin opened a can of whoop ass. Justin opened a can of whoop ass. Give Justin Ilya Tuporia next, please. Or honestly, give him. It's so fucked up because he's been snubbed from a title shot for so long. For so long. He was supposed to get a title shot and then he was gonna wait and decided, okay, I'm gonna fight Max while in the meantime, just so I can get this extra red and get the BMF belt. And he lost. That was a fight he was not supposed to lose. Right. Then after that, um, well, this is his only fight after that. But it's fucked, boys. He was supposed to win that because he knocked out Dustin Poirier right before he fought Max Holloway, and that was supposed to be his title shot. But then I think it was Ramadan or something like that, and he just had to wait. But honestly, I would give him Charles Oliveira. I would give him Charles Oliveira or Arman, or run back the Dustin fight, or run back the Max fight. There's a bunch of fun matchups for Justin here. It just sucks because he deserves to fight for a title next. He really does. Islam has not fought him. Islam has fought basically everybody in the top five. He has fought literally everybody in the top four except for Justin Gaethje. and Ilya Tuporia, wherever they decide to rank him, is gonna fuck up these rankings. Benoit's definitely gonna be out. They're gonna take Benoit out the rankings when they put Ilya in the 155 rankings. But I would like to see them run back the Max Holloway fight, because obviously Ilya is gonna get this title shot against Islam, and then you guys should do Armand Charles Oliveira, run it back. But there's so many number one contenders, right? Because, well, no, I guess because Justin just got off, but Justin didn't really get hurt. I don't know. It's probably going to be Armand Saruki and Charles Oliveira for number one contender, then Islam, Ilya, and then they might run back the Max Holloway Justin Gaethje fight. I would love to see. I would absolutely love to see that. I want to see Justin Gaethje get his get back, and then hopefully we get a trilogy. Hopefully we get a trilogy. On to the main event, boys. On to the main event. Moment of silence. Moment of silence for Chama. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter say that this was a robbery. MMA Guru, a bunch of people say that this was a robbery, saying that they would give him rounds 1, 3, and 5. I would give Alex Pereira round 1. That's it. That's about it, boys. Round 3 is questionable. Round 3 is questionable. Round 1, Alex definitely won. Round 3 is questionable. Round 2, 4, and 5 is undeniably Ankalaev's. That fighting style, yeah, he was holding bro against the cage. Yeah, the fight was a slow pace. It's going to be a slow pace regardless. It would be a slow pace. Oh, I mean, I can't really say that. But Ankalaev strategically played this smart. You can't really be mad at that, man. Listen, I'm one of the guys. I'll call out bullshit when I see it. Like that Ray Tusara guy who decided to shoot 45 takedowns against Joshua Van. I'll call that out. That's bullshit. Excuse me. Magomed was throwing hands. He wobbled Pereira a few times. He wobbled Pereira at least 3 or 4 times. I don't think you boys were watching the same fight. Yeah, on Kalaev, he was eating a lot of leg kicks round 1 and round 2, but you know the counter to you throwing a leg kick is me punching you. You're off balance when you throw this leg kick, and that's kind of what was happening. Ankalaev must have some serious power, boys, because Pereira looked like he didn't really want to sit there in the pocket and just exchange with him. I've never really seen there. I think it was round 4 when Alex Pereira came out round 4. I've never really seen that look on his face. He kind of just seemed like like he was like in a state of shock. Like he was just unbelievable. Like he was like not believing what was happening. I was kind of not believing what was happening, if I'm being honest. Every shot that Ankalaev threw, I was like, this is risky business because Pereira is a counter striker. Man, Ankalaev was closing that distance. I do have to say, he did not shoot as much as I thought he was going to shoot on Kalaev, and Pereira had amazing takedown defense. Ankalaev shot 12 times. Pereira stuffed 12 takedowns, bruh. Yeah, there was a moment in the fight where Ankalaev was on top and they were on the ground, but it was like more of a slip and scramble. But Pereira's takedown defense, boys, you guys were worried about the wrestling. The wrestling is not the problem. Pereira just needs to be more like active. He needs to be more active. Ankalaev must have some serious power because he was not throwing. He was not throwing with Ankalaev. Ankalaev was blitzing. He was closing the distance. They were kind of standing very close to each other. I think it was round 3 and 4, and they were holding their lead hands together. They were touching lead hands, and they were just waiting to turn their hips over and smash each other. It was like a fraction of a second. These boys were counter punching. They were trying to be like strategic with it. I'm kind of still in shock that Pereira lost. It was not a robbery. People saying that it was a robbery, like, please rewatch the fight. If you bought the pay-per-view, run it back. I mean, if you didn't and you, Russian websited it, or watched it at a bar or whatever. Ankalaev won. You could see clearly from the stats: 127 strikes to 97. Ankalaev have had way, 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 way bigger moments. Ankalaev wobbled Pereira a gang of times. Again, yeah, Pereira won round one. That Uncle Ive's legs were bruised up, and after round one, I thought it was spooky scary for Uncle Ive. I really did. That leg was turning pink and purple. It was looking a little spooky. Round two, no, Uncle Ive turned it up, and I was like, okay, my boy going crazy. You know what I mean? Round four, round five, Uncle Ive was just shooting. He was just shooting. He was holding him against the cage for a really long time, but I can't really be mad at that, man. He's using the inbred mountain style of fighting, and it's effective. If somebody could do that to you boys, I don't know what to tell you. I can't really be mad at it. I'm a Marab fan. But like I can call out shitty fighting strategies like Ray Chusara. Horrible. Horrible. There's a complete difference in what Ray Chusara did to what Ankalaev did on this fight. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Ankalaev stood and banged. He stood in exchange with Bro for a lot of moments. But how you beat Pereira is you fatigue him. And the striking completely changes when you threaten a takedown, when you threaten the wrestling, because I'm not going to let my hands go. And as soon as I let my hands go, my hips are exposed, and you're going to grab me by my hips and slam me to the ground. What a wild pay per view, boys. What a wild pay per view. Listen, I don't know if they should run this back. I don't know. And you have to think, you saw all the clips of Pereira not really training. He was kind of everywhere during fight camp. He was in Australia. He was running around on the ice. He was doing this. He was doing that. Magomed was talking mad shit on Twitter. He was going through Ramadan, if he was fasting or not. It's kind of still up for debate. Nobody really knows. And he did his thing. I'm waiting to see the TikTok edits from that press conference where he talks about Alex going back to the tire shop. Now, does Alex go back to the tire shop? That's the question. I don't think that they run this back. I don't think so. I do not think so. I think hmm, Yuri doesn't have a fight. Listen, I think Yuri whoops Magomed Ankalaev's ass. I do. Yuri is so unorthodox. Yuri's very unorthodox. Yuri is just like a way better I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Yuri is just like a way better. Oh, what's that guy's name? What is that guy's name? He's like a way better Johnny Walker. Super, 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 super unorthodox, scary in pockets. He's throwing wild shit. He's doing weird movements. He's bouncing his head left and right. He's staring at you. Hands are low. Like, I think Yuri Prohaska beats the dog shit out of Magomed. I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure him and Ratchik already fought. Yeah, Ratchik. Yeah. Yeah, I would give Magomed Yuri next. I would not let Alex run this back. Now, what I would let Alex do is, oh, since John Jones doesn't want to fight Tom, I would force the Alex move up. Do you think Alex moves up now? I think it's either Alex moves up or Alex leaves the UFC and just goes straight to boxing. I think tonight would kind of solidify him not wanting to be in the UFC due to the boxing and like the holding strategy, the static wrestling, the me backpacking you and you having to hold my weight and get up and down. I think he either goes up to heavyweight and he fights Tom Aspinall or maybe Volkov, or he just goes to boxing and becomes a Francis Ngannou, but that's actually on the good terms with the UFC. I have not watched the press conference. This is made directly right after, so I don't know what my boy wants or what he's going to get into. But man, what a pay-per-view, boys. What a pay-per-view. I would say I would let's yeah. I mean, you could totally like leverage the Alex Pereira loss and be like, "Listen, John, it's either you accept to fight Tom Aspinall or Alex Pereira wants to move up and we will book this fight and we will just strip you and you will no longer be champion." You know what I'm saying? And then John would be like, "Okay, and now I'll fight Tom," or "Okay, no, I won't fight Tom." But what I think John is going to end up doing is I think John's going to end up accepting this fight against Tom and then pulling out last minute with an injury just to fuck with Tom, just to waste his career and time, just so he can not have as good as a lifelong resume as John Jones. Like, I think John is that petty. But man, what a pay per view. I think the next fight you make is on Kalaev Yuri Prohaska, boys. I think that's the next fight. I think that's the next fight. And I don't think you guys should punish Fiziev for losing. Um, I don't. I think you guys should give him Benoit Saint Denis. Benoit doesn't have a fight, right? No. Give him Benoit Saint Denis. Give him a tune-up fight. This boy took this on a few days' notice. What a great fight! What a great fight! I am so excited for next month's card. 314 fighting nerds are going down, boys. Just because Ruffy did not lose, that does not mean that Gene Silva and Carlos Prates are not. Okay, wait till we get closer to the card. I'll break it down again. But tap into my fighting nerds. We'll lose video. I just posted it yesterday. I cannot believe Alex Pereira lost. I excuse me. I cannot. Anyways, boys, it's your boy. It's the E Dog, the E Rock. You know what I mean? I can't believe it. I'll see you boys in a little bit. Peace out.